Alright, picture it. It's the 1990s. And for gamers, there are two big giants. You had PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64. Now, at this time, racing was a big genre. And for each system, you had the big titles. PlayStation 1, you had Ridge Racer and Gran Turismo. Nintendo 64, you had F-Zero, Cruisin'. Now, one type of racing that was just kind of birthing at the time was futuristic titles. Now, N64 had F-Zero. The PlayStation 1 had games like Jet Moto. What separated Jet Moto from the other type of futuristic racers was it's a motorcycle racing game, but not like any you have ever seen. Instead of bikes, you have hover bikes. I know, that's crazy. Now, one thing you notice is this is a racer, so every racer seems to be pushing some sort of product. It's basically product placement. Oh boy, I mean seriously. I think some things are kind of, for example, your character named Convict, but he's racing for Slim Jims. Character named Angel, but he seems to be very goth-esque, and she's with 99 Studios. Okay, I don't want to get into the characters. They all have, now the bikes all have attributes. Top speed, that's obvious. Acceleration, obvious. Weight is for another type, something I'll show you later. Not for now. Let me just use the first character that you see, which is the Max. And he rides for Mountain Dew. Now, as you can tell from the stats, they're relatively balanced. So you have season, you run through all the tracks. Single, you went through, it's like a time trial. Practice, self-explanatory. Circuit, you do certain types of races. Stunt, I'll show you later. And singles. So let me just show you. This is the first one. They all have symbols, which discuss their difficulty. You have circles, and you have green circles. You have triangles. You have diamonds. You have 2 diamonds, which then goes to 4 diamonds. I know it's crazy. Now the first level here is Devil's Canyon. Now you're going to see how this works. It's about load already. Okay, this is PS1 loading time. Now the graphics, as you can see now, are what you'd expect from the PlayStation 1 at the time. They're relatively basic, but back then it still wasn't about graphics, it was about gameplay. As you can see, these bikes can go from 0 to 100 in about 2 seconds, depending on how. And also they can also go from ground to a wall in less than half a second. Now, the first thing about the levels are quite diverse. You have sandy areas. Then you go into ice. You go to more South Pole-esque settings. Then you go to islands. And you have things like that. Go to lost cities and catacombs and more cities and forests. Anyway. And you see, the beginning levels aren't really that long. Now, traditionally, they're about, of course, it's always 3 laps. I don't know about you guys, but I always like the soundtrack for this. You can't hear through the engine sounds, but I love the soundtrack. They also have these purple things, they're called grapples. They're there, you use them with the R2 button. They kind of grab onto you and kind of toss you in a certain direction. Like that to prevent you from sliding into a wall and looking at an idiot. Now, one thing about this, of course, it's not futuristic game until you have turbo. Oh, but you have to be careful because you can indeed fall off the bike. That's if you slam into a wall too fast, which I don't want to demonstrate because I'm actually winning. Well, give me some slack. This is nostalgic way. For me to have to be in cursor, it's becoming amazing. I was terrible at this when I was a kid. I played this game for another mode, which I'll show you right after this. Yeah, do shortcuts, of course. So at the time, this was quite, this was quite innovative. Hover bikes. As you can see, if you're going something too fast, you fall off. If you're going something way too fast, you blow up, as you saw right there. And then for a big finish, you do turbo. Never mind. So race over first place. I know, I'm actually kind of happy. Anyway, now of course they get harder as you progress. You unlock as you do seasons and circuits. And they get more complex, and the levels get way more diverse. You get point systems, which I can go from season to season. Now, let me show you something. Now, let me show you. Let me use a different character. Now, as you can see, this character has a low weight. Now, I'll show you where that comes into play. One of the things you unlock is called stun. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do yeah. Okay. You pick up. Okay, so it goes in order of. You get all these stunt levels, and the point of it is, one thing we can do is with turbo. You can regenerate turbo via doing tricks, backflips, barrel rolls, what have you, and that's the only way you can get turbo. Now here, this is using that, but without race. It's just how many stunts can you do? Now in stunt, you have several points. You need points to qualify. Now, there are also coins for easy ways, as you can see. Now for me, I have a file that has everything unlocked. So there are several features you can get when you unlock everything, like you can jump in midair, you can use turbo in midair, you can regenerate turbo. And I just kind of do it just to get these points a little easier. There are coins all over the place. Green is 50, blue is 1,000, I believe. Yeah. Of course, if you crash, you get nothing. It's like every other one you play. The more complex your trick is, the more points you get for it. But you have to be very careful, because if you do something very stupid, you don't get points. If you do something that's really crazy, you get that little chime. Okay, moving on. Now, if you have the features, like I have air hop, you can do things. You can do something like a lot of backflips. Okay, but these levels are not just they're bigger. Yeah, you have very basic tricks like rock, half flips, back flips, barrel rolls, barrel rolls. And of course, these are harder to do than you think. Now, as you can see, my inexperience with this game is really kind of showing right now. Because I probably won't qualify because I'm really with that. Now the tricks are they go from things very simple like this. That's a rock. Then they go to very complex, like something like this. Ow. Okay, that was bad. Now, yeah, if you don't know how to control this, you're really going to pay for it because you're going to lose precious time. And that could have been a pretty good trick.